All right, I'm going to throw out three names. Mikey Garcia, DJ, Demetrius Johnson, and Manny Pacquiao, right? These are three names that I'm throwing out. Now, I'm throwing out these names because they actually represent why I don't like doing commentary. Now, people have asked me, why don't you do more commentary, boxing commentary? Why don't you do more commentary on MMA? Well, those are three reasons why. Mikey Garcia, Manny Pacquiao, and Demetrius Johnson. Okay, so I'm going to tell you why. I just want to keep my notes here so I don't just go on and on and on and on and on. Mikey Garcia, who would I say? Demetrius Johnson, and Manny Pacquiao. Okay? All right. And Manny Pacquiao. Okay, so this is why. I did a video on Mikey Garcia and him fighting Errol Spence. And I said that what Mikey Garcia was doing, only Ali did before him. And I was talking about taking a chance. You know, the amount of risk involved in what Mikey Garcia was doing, right? Well, I wasn't saying he would beat Spence. I was simply talking from a fighter's perspective, from a person who was 57 years old and remembers when people would fight the best and wanted to fight the best. And a man, as long as he gave a good fight, could actually lose 3 straight fights and people would still watch him, right? So I actually talked about the fact that Mikey Garcia was stepping up to fight Errol Spence Jr. Now, let me say this. The challenge of Mikey Garcia to Errol Spence Jr. was so unlikely that who was the most surprised? Who was one of the most surprised people that Mikey Garcia was challenging Errol Spence Jr.? It was Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. is still amused that Mikey Garcia challenged him. Because understand that Spence had no idea that had nothing in his mind that he would fight Mikey Garcia. No, it was Mikey Garcia who challenged Errol Spence. And to go further, this is a man who Keith Thurman, who I think is finished by the way, but Keith Thurman has avoided. Keith Thurman has avoided even talking about fighting Errol Spence, only talking about fighting Manny Pacquiao. Only talking about fighting Manny Pacquiao, okay? Sean Porter has avoided Keith Thurman, talked about at one point, my manager or my organization won't let me fight Keith Thurman. Or won't let me fight Errol Spence Jr. Danny Garcia would fight him, but he doesn't want to fight him. The only person who really wants to fight Errol Spence Jr., right, Errol Spence, I'll leave the Jr. out just to speed things along. The only person who wants to fight Errol Spence is Terrence Crawford. And then comes Mikey Garcia. Most people didn't know that Mikey Garcia was serious until Mikey Garcia said, hey folks, I'm serious. The video that I posted talking about Mikey Garcia fighting Errol Spence, people came back with Errol Spence is gonna beat his ass. Mikey Garcia, he can't possibly win. Forgetting the whole freaking point. The whole point wasn't whether Mikey Garcia could beat Errol Spence. It still is not the point whether Mikey Garcia can beat Errol Spence. And I don't want you guys to come and tell me that you think Mikey Garcia is going to win. It doesn't make any difference. The point is that people just missed 85%. 85% of the people who looked at that video missed the whole freaking point. The point was that here is a fighter who wants to challenge himself in such a way that he is moving up to welterweight to fight someone who other live welterweights, who other natural welterweights are trying to avoid. That was the whole point. But you guys, most of you guys missed the point. 85% of you missed the point, and it got so bad. The comments got so freaking ridiculous. It became so obvious that you missed the point. That many of you, not all of you, but it became so obvious that 85 to 90% of you missed the point. I just stopped allowing comments. I stopped allowing comments. right? Now let's move on. Let's move on to Manny Pacquiao. I'll save Demetrius Johnson for last because I'm going to put in TJ Dillashaw on that thing, right? Manny Pacquiao, not Floyd Mayweather. Manny Pacquiao is a fighter of this generation. I'm going to do a separate video showing why I think Manny Pacquiao is the best fighter of this generation and not Floyd Mayweather. He has long surpassed Floyd Mayweather as the fighter of this generation. If you look at Manny Pacquiao has been accused by Floyd Mayweather fans, right? Floyd Mayweather fanatics doing steroids. Manny Pacquiao has never ever tested positive for steroids ever. Never tested positive for steroids. Never, ever. Even when he took the test that Floyd Mayweather wanted him to take, he no steroids. Still no steroids. And he's dominant now. He's as dominant now at over 40 or over as he ever was in his career. Now, many of you saying, oh, well, he didn't knock people out. He's still hurting people, trust me. He's still hurting people. He didn't knock out everyone when you said he was on steroids. But how did all this start? It started with Floyd Mayweather ducking him in the greatest example of ducking a fighter, right? Since Jack Dempsey ducked the great black fighter Harry Wills, right, in the 1920s, right? I'm 57 years old. In my entire life, I have never seen a more obvious avoidance of a fighter than what Floyd Mayweather did with Manny Pacquiao. Floyd Mayweather, in my opinion, should have been investigated by the federal government for avoiding Manny Pacquiao. And Floyd Mayweather fans allowed it to go on. Allowed it to go on until he finally fought him, right? Until he finally fought him, then it was like, oh, he would have beat him anyway. I want to say this to you people. I picked Floyd to beat Manny Pacquiao in both of their primes. And the reason is this. The reason is the reason only I could give you. The reason is that Floyd Mayweather would be able to pivot to his blind side before Manny Pacquiao could get to Floyd's blind side. In other words, what makes Manny Pacquiao so great, one of the things, are his angles. And I believe that Floyd Mayweather would be able to pivot on that one leg, would be able to pivot on his back leg faster than Manny Pacquiao would get to his blind side and put up a defense against Manny Pacquiao because of that. I picked Floyd to beat Manny Pacquiao by decision because he ain't knocking Manny Pacquiao out, right? I picked him to beat Manny Pacquiao by decision in both of their primes. So don't come and tell me I wanted Floyd to lose or I thought Floyd would lose. No. But he ducked this man. He ducked Manny Pacquiao. And it was a travesty of justice that he did it. And yet, Floyd Mayweather fanatics continue to allow it. Continue to allow it. To this day, there are people saying, Manny Pacquiao is on steroids. Some of you can't even spell steroids. And I know you're going to get pissed off. How are you going to say we give? That's how ignorant many of you are. Many of you are complete and utter idiots. Because it takes an idiot to think that Manny Pacquiao is on steroids, right, when he's never tested positive for steroids, only because your idol refused to fight him. Okay? That's true. Yes, absolutely. And for any of you people thinking somehow that I should love Floyd Mayweather because he's a Negro, I will tell you right now, any man who says that he is better than Ali, any man who says that he wouldn't give anything to Africans, starving Africans, because Africans didn't do anything for him, any man that would say that is not a brother of mine. I'm going to repeat that. Any man, and I will add two more things. Any man who says, one, that he is a friend of Donald Trump's, any so-called black man who says that the owner of the Clippers, the former owner of the LA Clippers, is a friend of his, any man that would say he would never give anything to starving Africans, any man that talks about Ali like he talked about Ali, all right, any man that says that is not a brother of mine, he is an Uncle Tom, and he is a traitor to his race. Point blank, period. You have Terrence Crawford. You have Tyron Woodley of the MMA. You have all these people, and yet you do not back them. But back to Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is a fighter of this generation, and all I hear is people talking about he's on steroids. He was on steroids. Why? Because you can't punch. Because you know nothing about boxing. Because you know nothing about power. And this is why you say he's on steroids. If you knew anything, if you had the courage to put on a pair of freaking boxing gloves, you would know that his power comes from the fact that he does virtually everything wrong. He launches his weight forward. He comes up with his straight left. He comes up on the back of his leg to get more power. He comes up on one leg to get more power. He has power because he throws every punch with bad intentions. And like Roy Jones said, your power comes from your legs. Manny Pacquiao has big legs. He gets his power from his legs. Right? This is where it comes from. This is where it comes from. So, Manny Pacquiao, the fact that he is still the greatest career in the history of boxing still is not appreciated. So now we have Mikey Garcia. Most of you missing the idea that Mikey Garcia is taking on this challenge. Most of you missing the whole point on Mikey Garcia taking on this challenge, preferring to say, well, Mikey Garcia is going to lose, but it has nothing to do with it. It's the fact that the man is taking on a challenge. Then we take Manny Pacquiao, a man who's the greatest fighter of this generation, underappreciated. Next we come to DJ. There are many white folks, because I just got finished talking to black folks. I got something for you white folks. Many of you black folks talk about T.J. Dillashaw. T.J. Dillashaw is this, T.J. Dillashaw is that, and T.J. Dillashaw, I think, is a good fighter. I do not think T.J. Dillashaw is finished. I think he still has many good fights in him. I don't think his loss to Henry Cejudo, and he did lose, says anything about whether he's finished or not. He's nowhere near finished, okay? But it should have been stopped. Henry Cejudo looked too strong. T.J. Dillashaw was going to get out of there. Sooner or later, he was going to be taken out of there. But I want to talk about Demetrius Johnson, because there are a lot of you who said that he was ducking T.J. Dillashaw. Okay? One, you don't duck a man who's not in your division. Okay? Okay? That was an idiotic statement. And again, it comes from these people who have these, who has these double standards based on this. That's where it comes from. It's still based on that. In 2019, we have these primitive thinkers who still think like that. So I'm going to tell you, no, you don't duck a man who's in a division higher than you. Okay? That brings me to Henry Cejudo. And I'm going to finish this up with you people who talked about Demetrius Johnson, ducked T.J. Dillashaw, and all this other nonsense. Henry Cejudo just got finished KOing T.J. Dillashaw. Okay, so all you people who want to criticize DJ, who actually, next to George St. Pierre, was the most perfect fighter that MMA has ever seen, single-handedly proves that Dana White is a complete idiot, is a bigot. No matter how many chances he gives to John Jones, he is a bigot. He is a complete and utter bigot. Those people who think that somehow DJ was treated fairly are complete and utter idiots. That's right. There will be no apology for this video. Trust and believe me. Henry Cejudo KO'd, or TKO'd, however, whatever you want to call it, TKO'd or KO'd T.J. Dillashaw. Well, Henry Cejudo lost to Demetrius Johnson, people, in the first fight. Demetrius Johnson, that guy who you say picked carefully his fighters, who didn't fight anyone, who was ducking T.J. Dillashaw, well, he KO'd that Henry Cejudo. KO'd him. In their second fight, there were many people who thought Demetrius Johnson beat Henry Cejudo. That man who just beat T.J. Dillashaw, right? Demetrius Johnson lost a split decision to Henry Cejudo. A split decision. Now, I will tell you that I personally believe that Henry Cejudo deserved that split decision. I was looking forward to seeing a third fight in which I would have given DJ the nod. I would believe that DJ would be smart, intelligent man he is, not that Henry Cejudo was not, but I believe that DJ would have probably won the third fight in the trilogy. But I did give Henry Cejudo the second fight by a very small margin. But there are people who believed that T.J. Dillashaw won, that Demetrius Johnson won that fight. So now we are looking at Henry Cejudo, the conqueror of T.J. Dillashaw. And Henry Cejudo is a great fighter. I love him one reason, because he uses karate. Right? He has that karate stance, and I love that. That shows something else that I've been supporting. But we look at Henry Cejudo. He lost to Demetrius Johnson. Demetrius Johnson KO'd him the first time. The second time only lost a split decision. To some people, what that means is to some people, Demetrius Johnson beat the conqueror of T.J. Dillashaw twice. Twice. Right? To some people, Demetrius Johnson beat Henry Cejudo twice. KO'd him once, beat him by decision the second time. To some people. Although, again, I gave Henry the second fight. All right? By a split decision. Okay? And think that was fair. Although I believe Demetrius Johnson would have won the third fight. Okay? So, that's it. So, you people carefully forget that. All you people talking about Demetrius Johnson and, oh, you know, he should have been let go. He was the best fighter pound for pound in the UFC. And he is the second best fighter pound for pound under George St. Pierre in the history of MMA. Okay? The conqueror of T.J. Dillashaw, to some people, lost twice to that Demetrius Johnson that you people don't give credit to and never gave credit to, and essentially ran out of American MMA. Right? So, why don't I do boxing commentary? Why don't I like to do boxing commentary? Rather, I will probably do some more, right? Why don't I like to do MMA commentary? Because most of the male fight fans today have no freaking clue. Most of you male fight fans have no clue, and quite frankly, since I don't live off the proceeds of YouTube, you waste my time. You waste my time. Mikey Garcia stepped up to the plate, taking on a huge challenge in Errol Spence. You don't appreciate it. Manny Pacquiao's career, the greatest career, including Henry Armstrong, going all the way back to the very beginning of boxing. No career has trumped, well, I hate to use that word, no career can overshadow the career of this man you still see today, and you are privileged to see him, Manny Pacquiao. You don't appreciate it. And Demetrius Johnson, you never appreciated him. Never appreciated him. And mum is the word. You're quiet. You're quiet. I haven't seen one of you people saying, well, wait a minute. Henry Cejudo got knocked out by Demetrius Johnson. But wait a minute. Henry Cejudo, some people say, lost to Demetrius Johnson twice. You people still aren't talking about it. The conqueror of T.J. Dillashaw actually was knocked out by Demetrius Johnson the first time. And some people say lost to Demetrius Johnson in a close fight the second time. And mum's the word, you say nothing. That kind of bias makes you unworthy. Unworthy of my expertise. And that's why I don't like doing boxing commentary or MMA commentary. But I will in the future. My name is Sabe Carmen, the Walking Encyclopedia of Martial Arts. See you next video.